Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Three Rivers Financial Wellness Podcast. I am here in the studio with Ashley.
Hello.
And then we have a very special guest with us, Josh Pulfer, who is AVP of Member Experience in the branches. He's going to be talking about investing in your own financial wellness and what that means, and so what it looks like to help yourself before you can go help other people. So tell us a little bit, what are your initial thoughts on that?
Absolutely. First off, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here with you all. It's an honor to be here. And I think as I was preparing for this conversation, we talk organizationally about being the best at financial wellness. And what does that mean for us as an organization, but taking that across the country and around the world? We want to be the best. And so I think it really starts with us within Team 3. And I give you kudos, Ashley, for the work you're doing, how you are raising the bar this year. I know we're talking a lot about internally about education, development, and also certifications and what that can mean for us to give us some tools to be better for not just ourselves and our families, but the membership as well. We talk a lot about internally about giving hope, for the membership, and that's important. I think also it's important for us to understand where we are in our own personal journey. We discuss, you get in an airplane, and one of the first things they talk about are safety procedures and how important it is for us to kind of check our mask first. We're not very helpful if things go awry and we haven't done that check first. So it's important to really be mindful of where we stand at all times, and I think that's key when it comes to our own personal financial wellness journey.
I agree. And I think why it's so important is, I've always loved the mask analogy too, but I think it's so important because if I'm sitting across from a member and they've got a financial wellness, they obviously are on their own financial wellness journey, what are the chances that I'm going to ask them a question if I'm not even invested in my own or really care about my own? The odds are pretty low.
I think I've seen a lot of people at Team 3 be really successful here because of their own personal experiences. Lots of people are willing to be vulnerable and share man, I really screwed my life up. And here's how focusing on financial wellness has really helped, but then also how I've gotten better since I started working here. I've told lots of people, I am not an expert in financial wellness. I'm just here helping us keep our mind on it through certifications and all different workshops and all kind of learning styles, but it's really just helping us stay focused on it. It's not because I know all of the information. And so I think it's, to your point, if we're focused on it, we'll be able to say, hey, member, thanks so much for coming in today. I'm also working on direct depositing $50 a paycheck into my savings account. We'll do that together instead of it being, well, I know everything, because I sure don't.
And people don't respond to that. I mean, if I go in to talk to somebody and it's they've got every answer, there's no vulnerability, there's no, none of that, then what are the odds that I even want to listen in the first place? And, yesterday we had our full company meeting, that we do every President's Day. And I just remember looking around at the beginning of the day and I was like, this is just such a interesting group of people that we have, 450, 500 people all in the same place. And I'm like, that's why this works, right? Is because these are real people who have varying life experiences that are coming together and able to help the members with financial wellness. It's not what you would think of if you put in your head, what do I think a credit union of 500 people probably looks like? And you'd probably picture business suits and all this stuff. And you're looking around and people have Cat in the Hat shirts. It's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, great example. So an example of a team investing in each other, investing in themselves to be better for the membership. And I think coming back to financial wellness itself, it's such a big topic, but making it simple, making it digestible, small steps, daily practices, and being consistent. I think it's really what's important to the member, or in this case, important to the team member as we grow, and really thinking about that end goal that we have. What is it going to feel like when we achieve that goal? And I think that's what we need to start with. I know for myself and my family, I have a young family. I have a wife and 4 young kids.
Super dad.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
Yeah. So we don't have a lot of spare time in our house. But one of the things for us is focusing on savings and preparing for their future and certainly legacy. And for us, experiences are important. Vacations are important. Spending time together is important. So that's what we intentionally every year is to ensure that we're on a path to do that, and paring it down to what does that mean for us every week throughout the year, so that when that time comes, we can focus on just being present with with each other and creating those memories. So that's kind of the emotion behind how that's important to us.
What's the best experience that you've given your kids, you think, in your opinion? I know your wife probably have a different opinion.
They are spoiled. When I was their age, we had a couple road trips to North Carolina. We did Disney. But I think we've had some experiences where we got to experience some airplane time with the little ones a couple years ago. And Florida is our favorite destination. Okay. The beach, that's definitely where their happy place is for sure.
That's awesome.
So you talk a little bit about like the feeling of it, and I think a lot of times, that's obviously always where I go, because I think a lot of times, you and I think especially, we think of things mathematically, but also very real, the feeling of it. So talk a little bit about that. Like, what does that mean when you're taking care of your financial wellness as a team member? How do you focus on the feeling of like what it looks like to get to take your kids to this trip that you
Well, I'll share what initiated that. A few years back, we experienced an unexpected loss in the family, and that kind of reframed what's important to us. So it got me thinking about not just, am I saving enough? Am I saving for the right things? Do I have this prepared and planned out, or am I just going by the seat of my pants? And so it just helped me kind of reframe some intention behind that. And then, able to kind of paint a picture for my spouse and what that can look like for us when we do have the ability to go step out and drive and experience some of these things, or, flying destinations. Really recognizing, hey, we worked hard for this. And it's okay that price tag is there, but we define that this is what was most important to us, and this is how we got here. And it was hard work, but we deserve it, and kind of really living in that moment intentionally. It takes a lot of the pressure and kind of tense feelings away from those experiences, knowing that it's been planned out. It's already been cared for in advance.
Well, and I think it's so good that you say that, because I remember growing up, we went on some vacations, but I remember when we would be on vacation, my parents being like stressed out the whole time, because they're like, I haven't checked my bank account. I'm spending too much money. This was just something we wanted to do for the experience for us. And I'm so appreciative that they did that, to be clear. But like, I just remember them being stressed, and now I'm to a point where like when I have a trip and I have a set aside account, and then when I go on a trip, I'm like on the vacation, and there's times I'm on vacation, I'm like, I'm probably getting carried away here, but I'm like, I know that I have it here that I've set aside for this. So vacation truly then gets to be vacation, and not something that now I actually have to pay for it 6 months when I'm back home.
Yeah, and I think the key to get there is, because that can sound intimidating, when I'm talking to my wife, like, hey, we want to go here next year and it's going to cost this much. Yikes, like that can be scary. So we just name it. We create a buy-when. We just break it out incrementally over the course of the weeks and the months, and how many months it's going to take to get there, and we automate it.
Love it.
So I don't really think about it. Yeah. And so when we get there, that's how we celebrate that accomplishment together.
Part of what I love, Josh, about you sharing is, in our new hire class, we've implemented a financial wellness hour, and it's a dream session. We have everybody draw, like, what are your dreams? What are you saving for? Where do you want to be in life? Like, what do you want to make happen? And every time it is things like, I want to have an awesome house with a tree in the front yard, with my kids, with the car that's reliable. And those are the things that people are dreaming about. It's never, I've not once had anybody say, well, my dream is to have $1 million in my bank account.
Right.
And although that might be a goal eventually, but like, to me, the dream of being able to give your kids experiences and live in a place that's safe and beautiful that you love, and create that home, is what most people are trying to do. And so that's the beauty to me of financial wellness. It's never about the numbers. It's about, how do we make sure that we help people really, truly meet their dreams?
Yep, exactly right. So as team members, we support members in helping to paint a picture for them on what that looks like, giving them hope and cheering them along. Individually, we need to understand, what our what's next is, and we define that ourselves. That's not something you can decide for me, or vice versa.
You don't want me to just decide what you should be doing?
You can, but emotionally,
What are you gonna do?
Emotionally, I may not be as motivated to do that, or to follow through, or to intentionally take those steps every week and every day. That's what that does for you.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think, when you talk about those dream sessions, I think something that stands out is like, some people, don't get me wrong, some people do have these dreams that are like super passionate and amazing. And I think I encourage people to have those dreams. But I think a lot of times the dream is actually like something more stable. Really, I think one of the number one biggest cravings that we have as humans is stability. especially because our world is so unstable and so like chaotic, but we crave that stability. So when people are saying, oh, I want a house with a reliable car with my kids and my family, like that's just like, oh, I crave this like stable, which obviously, as you know, as a dad of 4, that there's really no such thing as a completely stable reality.
4 little girls, by the way.
Yeah, you're outnumbered for sure, aren't you?
But it's just, I think that that's a real craving. When you talk about like, how do you establish the what's next? Sometimes when you're thinking through what is the what's next, you might be like, I don't know what the what's next is. So I think tying it to like, okay, well, I want stability, or I want, maybe you do want chaos, or I want adventure, or I want, whatever the case may be, find that. And then I think you'll find the what's next behind that door of what really you're going for there.
100%.
I've used the phrase "so that" a lot in my life and former jobs, but it really works with financial wellness to help you really know what you're really searching for. So if you think about like somebody who says, well, I want to put $5,000 in my savings account this year, so that what happens? So that I can breathe easier and not worry about emergencies. So that what? So that I don't like put a bunch of money on credit cards. Like as you do that exercise, it really helps you to have some clarity around, why do I care about $5,000 or $1 million? Is it? Well, really, when you get down to it, it gets you down to the core of, well, I don't want my kids to have to worry about money, or I don't want to, if I have to go to the ER, I want to be able to think about like healing my body, not my bank account. So like some of that peace of mind comes top of mind for a lot of people when they're thinking about money.
Well, cool. Well, I know you have a challenge that you'd like to leave for listeners. So do you want to dive into what that challenge is?
Absolutely. So I would love for everyone on an individual basis, take an introspective look at your personal now. Again, it's not something that Ashley or Austin or myself can define for you. Find the tool that works best for you to understand what that now is. You can go on our mobile app and you can do a financial health assessment. I just want you to take that first step and define what is that next step need to look like for you. I would take it a step further in inviting your leader into that journey and kind of ask for their support. I think that we can be in the best position when we're great at sharing our personal story. And so I think it's important for us to understand what our now is, define that clear what's next, and ask for support in that journey as well.
That's so good because, people connect to stories. They don't connect to data. They don't connect to, a whole system of doing things. They connect to stories. So work on your own stories so that you can help people with theirs. Thank you so much, Josh, for coming on. We value your insight and your opinions.
Appreciate the invite.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening to the Three Rivers Financial Wellness Podcast. While we're excited that you join us on this journey of financial wellness, we do need to give you a short disclaimer. This podcast is for informational purposes only and isn't intended as financial, tax, or investment advice. Be sure to consult your own experts before making financial decisions. Three Rivers is federally insured by the NCUA and is an equal housing lender.